Hello and happy Monday, everyone. I am coming online here to share about an experiment that I'm launching today. So I shared last week that I found myself getting too stuck in focusing on another strategy again, right? Following other people's rules and kind of executing what standard marketing people would tell you. And what would happen is that then basically I would just be in execution mode again, just going through the motions with a certain kind of dullness, right? You just take off your to-do list. So the energy was not playful anymore, was not creative. And then I discovered Gene Keys last week. So don't ask me exactly what it is. The way I understood it is it's like some form of extension of human design. So you basically can create your profile by birthday, place of birth, and time of birth, and then it gives you your profile. And I just got my profile and discussed it at length with Gemini, which was super helpful. And honestly, I mean, I totally understand if people say, oh, it doesn't make sense, and why would that be accurate information? And I mean, I don't have an explanation why it would work, but so I was not at all into that kind of stuff before. But now what I do is, I look at these things, and the crazy thing is, it just feels like it's opening up so many doors, like understanding myself so much better. And there's just so many things that resonate and where I get new ideas, or why, for example, so one thing, human design, for example. I'm a projector, and as a projector, you don't have defined sacral, and sacral is basically this constant supply of energy. So the majority of people on this planet are generators who have a constant supply of energy. And that kind of helped me understand why I was never someone who loved to work a lot. I was always like, I want to be out of here by 6 p.m. the latest, and I'm not coming in before 9, and I'm taking my lunch breaks, and So I was never that kind of person who enjoyed working a lot. And it just, this projector lens gave me one way to understand why, because I was always asking myself, what is wrong with these people, or what is wrong with me? And this just gave me a lens to understand it. Same with the Gene Keys. And when I was discussing my profile with Gemini, it just gave me so much more insight into why so much resistance comes up for me into when it comes to following standard marketing and sales strategies like cold outreach and all these. I mean, to me, a lot of the things really also feel a bit manipulative, and it also understands why, then my energy kind of falls flat around these things. Like also this constant posting and thinking about, oh, what gives me the most views and what gives me more followers. It's like really, you just, again, outside of yourself, you're giving your power away. And what I enjoy is really just, sharing realizations that come through for me without thinking about what gets me the most followers or the next sale or whatever that may be. And discussing my profile with Gemini just explained a lot more why, and also gave me more suggestions that are outside the standard approach. So it gave me more ideas, because it basically tells you what are the kinds of environments that you are successful in, how do you activate people, how do people resonate with you, right? So it just gave me a lot of great suggestions outside the box. And that is just why I love these tools, because I mean, I feel like everyone's telling you the same thing, right? Post every day on Instagram. optimize for, I don't know. I mean, there's even like, you know, you can even join or pay for things where then you get information about what are currently hyped formats and reels on Instagram. Or I did LinkedIn coachings in the past where then you're just being told to look around what works in the algorithm and then do something similar. And yeah, that just bores me. So I love this new kind of approach and new suggestions that I got. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna start an experiment. And for the next 4 weeks, I'm really gonna, you know, just really trust my inspiration and the things that I'm feeling called to on a deeper level, and really letting go more of the, oh, I have to post, I should be doing that kind of content, I should promote this program, I should do this and that. But just more doing the things I'm feeling called to, becoming more playful, becoming more creative, and then just see what happens, you know. How I feel, yeah, and what happens with the things that I come up with, instead of falling into these rigid structures again. And another thing that I found through these gene keys, and I mean, it's something that I've been observing, but then you don't trust it because, you know, our society, and especially also, of course, corporate life, is so built around constant productivity and consistency. So what I found in these gene keys is that I have these waves, and I could also feel this, where, you know, I'm super expressive and there's a lot of things coming through and there's inspiration, and then it's easy to talk, it's easy to share. And then there's periods where, you know, I just want to be by myself, or I don't want to show up online, I don't want to share, I just want to live my life and I just want to be by myself. And of course, if you're being told, oh, to build a business, you need to post every single day and consistency is key, then what I did in the past was pushing through on the days where I didn't feel like it. But then, I mean, the way I see it now, because I didn't really believe in energy or anything. Like, I was so, like, honestly, in the past, I didn't even understand why I had to be in a good mood for, you know, people, why that would count in terms of my performance at work. I thought, okay, what really counts is that I do the job right. And I mean, if I have a grumpy face or not, who cares? That was my attitude. Now, I mean, I've completely shifted it, and I can totally see that, you know, it kills the room, it kills the vibe if you have someone that comes in with negative energy. But I had a lot of negative energy, and I mean, I was aware of it, but then I was so matter of fact that I thought it didn't matter. Now everything has shifted completely for me, and I see it completely the opposite way. Energy is everything. And especially if we, you know, want to transmit a message, if we want to reach people, if we want to connect with people and have people resonate with us, energy is everything. So it really doesn't make any sense to just push through on the days where you're not feeling it. It really makes so much more sense to just go with it when the energy is there, ride the wave, and then allow yourself time and space to rest, to not show up, to do what you gotta do. And this is really what I let myself fall into now much more. Letting go of this consistency paradigm, of this having to do everything every single day for it to be successful eventually. And yeah, it's not easy, in the sense that, you know, my mind still gets very loud, and there's still like fear coming up if you know, that is really working in the end. Because of course, I mean, my biggest fear right now is that eventually I have to go back to a normal job. Like, that would be, I mean, I would probably just move to another country and try to minimize my cost of living as much as possible than going back to a normal job. But okay, that's a different story. So it's really about allowing myself, allowing this higher level of self-trust, because we often, I mean, gosh, and I mean, I'm not free of this, right? We constantly look outside ourselves for answers. Constantly. We always think other people know it better. And this is really this experiment of trusting myself above anything else, and also allowing these waves, these cycles back in. And I think what I also feel is that, I mean, the feminine and making room for feminine qualities and embodying the feminine more and more is already part of my work. But I feel like it's becoming, I mean, I don't know, a year or 2 years down the line, I feel like it's gonna grow. And it is really this, like, allowing, like, we are women, we're so cyclic. Yeah, we have a cycle, or you at least had one. And I mean, also in Kundalini Yoga, I just learned about the moon centers. So women have 11 moon centers. Men only have one. And so your moon center moves every 2.5 days. So you have a hormonal cycle, you have this moon cycle, and this moon cycle is there from the date of birth until you die. So this is not dependent on age. And then the moon is also cyclical, right? It waxes, it wanes. And we have been so taught to fit into this masculine way of living, where every fucking same day should look the same, where your energy level should be the same, where your productivity should be the same, where your emotions should be the same, right? We are not making any space for cyclical living, for cycles in this society. And I think that is why women are struggling, and why it's often harder for us to feel good and not lose our well-being in our success. Because yes, there are a lot of women who are successful, but then at what cost? And honestly, I mean, I wasn't even aware of it. Like, I lost myself in this hyper masculine way of being, and I didn't even realize it until a certain point. And not just this constant doing, but this, I was trying to adapt to the masculine standards in so many ways, because I could feel, okay, I was adapting to this masculine way of being and living in so many ways. And it was so subconscious, I didn't even know it, because I was feeling that everything that's feminine, all the feminine qualities are devalued. And I didn't want to be devalued. I wanted to be valued. So I was, yeah, that's why I became logical and analytical, and, you know, I didn't want to show emotions. I thought strength meant not being emotional. And I mean, at some point, I also didn't even wear very feminine clothes anymore, because I felt like in these work environments where I felt like that discredited me to a certain extent. And it might have been just in my head, but I mean, I did, actually, I don't think it was just in my head. I do have stories, you know, because in the beginning, I still dressed much more feminine. Like, I wore skirts, I wore dresses. And, you know, then people told me, oh, and you're my, like, when I was assigned to do a presentation together with a male colleague, I would get things like, oh, you're my eye candy today. So anyway, the point is, there's not a lot of space for feminine way of living, or even just bringing that back into balance, feminine and masculine. It always is about balance. It's like leaning to either extreme is not beneficial, but coming back into that balance. And this balance is different for women. Yeah, and we need more time for waves, for cycles, for rest. And I mean, men do too, I think. Overall, our society is way much, is too much on this doing and hustle frequency, but as a woman, it's even more important, and you need even a bit more rest potentially. Okay, so this is going to be my experiment. And the other thing that's part of it is focusing more on my vulnerability. Like I said, like I just mentioned, for me, what the message I subconsciously received from society, from work environments, is that emotions are weakness. And emotions, you shouldn't show your emotions because then you're weak. And I mean, that is obviously wrong, right? Real strength comes from being vulnerable, being able to show your emotions. And this is not about oversharing or expressing them in the wrong way. It's about being emotionally intelligent and being able to communicate your emotions so that other people can understand you and you can understand yourself. And for me, vulnerability is hard. Like even in my marriage, it's not that easy for me to open up and share my feelings. And I have a lot of defense mechanisms. I have a lot of walls built up over the years. And I mean, I have started to open these up a little bit over, like since 2021, when, you know, my whole personal and spiritual development journey started. But of course, there's always more to open up to. And I had this realization last week that I was still very much hiding behind knowledge and expertise, and even now, yeah. So I want to practice being more vulnerable, being more raw and real. And there was actually a really good sentence that I got out of these Gene Keys. Let me just pull it up. So Gemini basically said to me, drop the armor of the expert and step into the safe, raw truth of the guide. So this is what I'm experimenting with. I'm gonna share things that come up, you know, emotions, feelings, resistances, my mind that's constantly telling me, oh, this is not safe. You should be doing something. Let's stay in control. Yeah, I will share that, what's coming up for me, but of course also the things that are opening up. Yeah, the things that, that open up through this new way of being, this new way of doing. Oh, and the other thing, I mean, I have quite an extensive morning practice, and sometimes I don't wake up really early, and then, you know, the day gets kind of late, and sometimes, you know, I just start work at 12. Or, I mean, today actually I came back from the gym at 11:45, and then I did like 15 minutes of admin work, and then we had lunch together. So I was very much kind of beating myself up to a certain extent. There was like a lot of shame and guilt coming up, like, oh, I should be starting earlier. And again, it's coming back to what I talked about before, thinking that only work at the laptop is really progressive and is really what's moving the needle. And so also for me, letting go of that. It's okay, you know, if I start later, and that's fine. And it's really about, you know, that it's not that I, you know, also these practices that I do in the morning, I'm selling who I am, and these practices elevate who I am. So this is work, this is part of it. It's not just me sitting at the laptop. So it really also releasing deeper this employee conditioning that I still have. That is also something that I want to work on. And yeah, today is the full moon in Capricorn, so it's a perfect time to think about what are the old things that are not serving you anymore. So for me, it is this employee conditioning, as well as this old concept of strength, thinking that the others know it better. So it really comes back to building deeper level of self-trust. So full moon in Capricorn is a perfect day to reflect on what are you releasing, what are you letting go of. I'm actually going to do a little full moon ritual today. So I'm going to do some journal practices. I follow Sabrina Lynn Rewilding. She does like very nice astrology update every week, and she gives great journal prompts for the week. So I'm going to do these. Going to do a little meditation, and then I'm going to go into a salt bath for some energetic clearing to intentionally release the things that are not serving me and to start fresh into this experiment. So if you want to know how it goes, I'm gonna document it here. So I'm gonna come live. I'm also opening a Telegram channel. So I feel like there's certain things that I don't just want to put out in the open. Also, if it's just very short, quick impulses that are not worth a full live video, I'm just gonna drop it in there. It's gonna be a more intimate space, which then supports me in opening up. So I'm also gonna document it there in more detail. So if you wanna come, send me a message and I'll send you the link to join. And yeah, I'm excited, and I will let you know how it goes. If any of this opened up something in you, maybe you want to do the experiment along with me, then let me know. That would be amazing. We could, exchange how it's going. If anything of that resonates, I'm always happy and grateful to receive comments and feedback from you. And yeah, I hope to see you here next time. Wishing you a beautiful Capricorn full moon, and see you soon.